Hey, it's your man StyleCon coming at you today with another video. Halfway finished with this stogie. Broke out the old Movado. Now, let's get into today's topic of discussion. And I've been hearing people chirp about this on YouTube in a few videos about exit wristwatches. And some people are saying, no exit wristwatch. I don't buy into that, and I'll give you some reasons why, but it's a matter of time where you might want an exit watch. And I'm not talking today, tomorrow. I don't know your age. I'm starting to get to be an old style con. But when I was younger, I was into sneakers. I had all kinds of. I still like sneakers, but I don't have the collection like I used to. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many. I had 200, 300 pairs of sneakers. But after a while, that faded out. You know what I mean? And now I do buy sneakers, but I buy things that are a little bit different than the normal stuff, but it's not like it was. I used to be a car guy. I had all kinds of cars. Every January for 10 years straight, I'd go out and buy a new car. And now cars aren't that big of a deal to me. It's like I still like them, but it's not like, oh, I got to go test drive that new car. Oh, I got to go buy that. It's like, nah, I'm okay. I don't have that feeling like I used to. And I'm not saying everybody that collects watches will have this feeling happen to them. But when you're, a lot of these YouTubers I see, they're 20s, 30s, 40s. Maybe some are even in their 50s. I'm reaching, towards the end of the 50s here. And I don't see things the same way. Like I talked to my kids. I had a health scare a couple years back. Ended up being a nothing burger. But at that time, it made me reflect on my life. And I had all these watches, Panerai, Ulysse, Nardens, Bell & Rosses, Omegas. I had all this stuff. And I asked my kids, it's like, do you want these watches? When I'm gone, they're like, no, we're not interested. And it's like, a little part of me was crushed. Because they were with me on some of these journeys, going to different jewelry stores, looking at different watches. And it's like, okay, I thought one of them might catch, the passion for it. But no, my son doesn't wear a watch at all. And my daughter wears an Apple Watch, not interested. So it's like, who am I going to give these watches to? Now, I did talk to Charles Wallingford. If something were to happen to me, he's more than likely going to get my watches because my kids aren't interested. But that's where the exit comes in. You know what I mean? You go through life collecting, things for your house. I remember when I got my first house, I had to, go buy new pictures for, lamps, just everything, trying to get it to go with the house. And then you get older, you go, well, I don't need such a big house anymore. Okay, I might downsize. Okay, I don't need to go out and buy that $80,000 car. I'm okay with just buying a beater for $15,000 and enjoy my life. And sometimes I think that with watches, as you get older, not younger, but when you get older, maybe you hit 50, 60, your priorities change. You want to spend time with your family more. You want to travel more. You want to do things more. And then that can cut in the watch budget. Now, if you got more money than God, doesn't make a difference. Or if you have, sons, daughters, whoever might be, that could be interested in your watch collection, nothing wrong with that. But eventually, as you get older, you will come to the conclusion, life's not about watches. It's not about collecting the most sneakers. It's not about buying the latest car. It's about spending quality time with your family. And like me, when I was, in my 30s, I've been collecting watches since good Lord, maybe about 13 years old. I started out with the Swatches, Guess watches, Movados, Seikos, and I just kept going up and up and up as I learned more about wristwatches. But what I do know, as you maturate in this life, your priorities do change. There's, a one video, I forget the guy's name, Adam or something like that. And he was talking about trading all of his watches in just to buy one, but he thought about it. It's like, no, I'm not ready for that. He said, I want to keep what I have. And I get it. I'm trying to keep what I have, but I did get rid of a lot of things. And I went with the basics. I started off, with a Swatch. If you watch my videos, I do own a Swatch now. I haven't owned a Swatch in years. But I bought one because that's where I got my start. Then, I bought a Seiko. That was my next move when I was younger. Now I have a Seiko now, but I'm going back to my origins more or less than going out and just, oh, okay, I found an FP Journe, that I really like and I want to go buy it. No, it's like I don't need that right now at this time in life. Sometimes, as a younger man, and some of these YouTubers that I watch are younger, it's like you may not feel that way, and I get it. You're young. I know I wanted everything. I work, 50, 60 hours a week, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to provide for my family, and I wanted watches, and I was doing all that. My kids are grown. I don't have to worry about that hustle life anymore. Things are okay. I'm doing okay. And it's like, I don't need it. Now, some things would I like to have, but who am I going to give that to? Say if I do go, I like the Lange and Söhne Datograph. I really love that watch. And my buddy has one for sale. And I was like, man, I'm getting older. Might as well buy it. But it's like, who am I going to give it to? I might as well spend that money and take my family on a nice vacation for a week or two, and we can all enjoy each other's company, especially the older you get. Time, and that's why I like watches. And it reminds me, no one has an infinite amount of time. Your time will come where you will check out on this planet. And as you get older, and you're still on the hunt for looking for these watches, nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. But as you do get older, your priorities shift. And when they shift, you might be looking for that exit watch. And on that note, thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. If you have any questions or comments, as usual, leave them down below and I will check you out in the next video.